Hello, everybody. I know a lot of people are gonna think it's kind of weird that I'm playing a Switch game instead of a 3DS and Wii U one if I'm talking about the 3DS and Wii U, but I just personally don't want to play a 3DS or Wii U game at the moment. And even if I could play a 3DS game and I don't have the, equipment needed to, record the footage. So, with that, I'm going to just go ahead and play this Hanafuda game so that way I can kind of just have some footage for something and talk about the 3DS and Wii U. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. So, the main reason I want to talk about the Wii U and 3DS right now is it kind of goes in tandem with the fact that Nintendo eShops are going to be closing soon on March 2023. And the eShop, I know, here soon, it's the 20th of August right now. On the 29th, there will be no way to add money onto your Nintendo Network ID, which is what you use to pay for stuff on the 3DS and Wii U shops, with eShop cards. And that's really the only way we have left to put money on those accounts right now, because we used to have credit card, you could use a credit card, but they shut that down back in July. So now the only way to actually put money on your accounts through eShop cards, and we've only got like 9 days left to do it as of this recording. I don't know when y'all will see this video, but I just know that from where I'm sitting, if I wanted to get any more games or if I wanted to do anything with my eShop account, I would need to do it in the next 9 days. Although I feel like I'm pretty much set. I don't have anything I really am going to try to get anymore. I've done most of that collecting stuff way back, so I'm all good. But I kind of just want to talk about it. That's, a point, but there's also some other things I want to talk about. The Wii U and 3DS eShops in general, if it wasn't for Nintendo Switch's online for the NES and SNES libraries, and now N64 and Sega Genesis, I probably would have hammered home how important the Wii U and 3DS's Virtual Console is. The 3DS is less so, I feel like. I don't know. It just depends, I guess, on who you are. If you're, a guy that likes to play old, retro handheld games like Game Boy and Game Boy Color. I mean, there is some good games on the Virtual Console for both. Like, for 3DS, it really hammered home the handheld, games, along with, NES and, SNES, or select SNES titles anyways. But, you could play Avenging Spirit, although that game is getting re-released anyways. Legend of Zelda Oracle series, like Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons. The Mysterious Marasome Castle for the NES, that was a Japanese exclusive, and the only way anybody has been able to play it online, or in English through an official way, is now only on the 3DS, which is going to be going away here soon. And the Wii U handled console stuff, so you could play you can get N64 games and Wii games from its Virtual Console, and you could also get DS games also, and Game Boy Advance. But I really didn't hammer home that because Virtual Console is important, but there's also other games that were on these eShops that you won't be able to get anymore, I think it was Sakura Samurai game that was made by Nintendo. You won't be able to get that game anymore. Harmonite, which is a game made by Game Freak, which is the Pokemon company, and you wouldn't be able to get Dylan's Rolling Western or Stretch Mode. Basically, a lot of games on the 3DS will be gone here soon. A lot of first-party 3DS games, which is kind of scary because as for somebody that's all down for preserving games and wanting to play them in the future, it's just kind of freaky that we're losing a lot of heavy hitters, or we're going to be losing a lot of heavy hitters come March 2023. And it's kind of odd to me. I find this really bizarre that there's been 3 brand new game releases. I think No, one of them did have a physical release, I think, but 2 of them, so far to my knowledge, have been 3DS eShop download only. And I find that really odd that somebody took the time to make some games last second for the 3DS and Wii U eShops, because I think there is a few that are coming to Wii U if I'm not mistaken, but those are coming around the time when this series, or when these consoles are ending, and it's just kind of it's weird how somebody would try to get a cash grab when they know that there's not going to be much time for anybody to get cash on the system to go grab these games anyways. And the shops are going to be closing too. So, there's that. And, you know, some of these games have exclusive DLC stuff that you won't be able to get in the future because some of these games still haven't been ported to, like, later systems. Like, we have Sonic Lost World, where you can play that on, you know, PC, but there's exclusive content on the Nintendo one, like the Legend of Zelda stage and Yoshi's Island stage, that you won't be able to play on PC. And then Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS both play completely different than Ultimate. And while Ultimate has everything that you'd ever want, it has more so, the Wii U and 3DS games have some exclusive modes and some exclusive stages that people probably want to go back and play on, or, you know, there's just something about 3DS and Wii U that some people like, and they probably would want the complete experience. Well, once the eShop closes, because those games have their own, like, DLC shops, but they connect to the eShop. So once the eShop goes down, so too will those DLC shops, and that kind of you know, hurts a lot of you know, certain games, because Fire Emblem, there was a lot of Fire Emblem games that were released during the 3DS. All the DLC for all those games will be gone. And while I would argue the DLC for, like, Awakening and Shadows of Valencia, yeah, I think Shadows of Valencia, that's the name of it, those ones aren't really, like, that heavy hitting, or their DLCs aren't, but, like, Fire Emblem Fates, the Revelations DLC is, like, really important, because that one is, like, an extension of, you know, the game of what it's supposed to be. The only way you'll be able to play Revelations after this will be to find, like, the special edition, which had, like, all 3 games on one cartridge. It was a Fire Emblem Fates special edition, I think, and it has, like, Birthright, Conquest, and Revelations all on the same cartridge. Why they didn't sell a whole bunch of those, I have no idea. It would have probably been, I feel like it would have been more wise to just make that cartridge, you know, outside of the special edition for the 3DS, because a lot of people probably wanted that. And while you did get a discount for, like, if you bought Conquest Birthright, you can buy on the eShop for, like, a cheaper price. And Revelations did the same thing, too. To me, I would rather have it all on the cartridge for this specific reason, because once this eShop goes down, so too will this DLC. Like, you won't be able to get it again unless you've already downloaded it. Because the cool thing, I guess, about these eShops and stuff like this is, like, whenever you do download it, so far, the Wii is even doing this still to this day. The stuff that you downloaded prior, as long as you bought it and downloaded it previously, they'll still allow you to re-download it. You just can't go and buy new stuff. So, but, yeah, those types of DLCs will be gone. And, you know, eventually, since those shops will be closing, so will the online servers for, you know, Wii U and 3DS. Those two will go away eventually, and that's not really that heavy hitting, I don't feel like. I don't think there's a lot, like, the only Wii U games I think a lot of people even play anymore online. I know there is a small player base of Call of Duty Black Ops 2, but I think more people will play that game on other systems instead of Wii U. But there's, like, you know, your big 3 main communities, which is going to be Mario Kart, Smash Wii U, and Splatoon. Those 3 games are really the only heavy-hitting games, I think, right now that have a lot of players. I'm not too 100% certain on Xenoblade Chronicles X. I haven't really looked into that one, but I don't think there's a lot of people playing that right now. And, you know, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash is not a good tennis game at all. I think a lot more people are playing. I think the community of that game went straight to Aces on Switch. And as far as I know about Pokken Tournament, I think more people are playing Pokken Tournament DX than the original Pokken Tournament. maybe there is somebody that's still playing the original Pokken Tournament. I'm not 100% sure. But, you know, the only games I think that are still holding a player base to this day is just the main three, like I said, Mario Kart 8 on Wii U, the Smash Bros. For Wii U, and Splatoon. And as far as 3DS goes, I'd say 3DS's big three is Smash Bros. 3DS, Kid Icarus Uprising, because I went on there, I think, a year ago, and I think I still saw people playing on that game. These people are cracked out, and they have the most strongest equipment in the game, so you will not win, but I think there is people that still play that game online. And Mario Kart 7. I'm not 200% certain on like Mario Tennis Open or any of those other games on the 3DS. They might have people on there, but I don't think there's enough people on there to the same extent as the previous other three that I just said. And maybe Pokemon. You know, I don't even have Pokemon for the 3DS, and I think there might still be some people playing that online too. But like I said, I'm just telling you the big main three. Is just for each one, you know, Smash is both, and so is Mario Kart, but yeah, the other two are different for each one, so Kid Icarus Uprising and Splatoon. Now, Splatoon, though, is probably the most important one, because aside from all the other ones, you can play all those other games on their own, or with people nearby. Splatoon, you can, but the biggest thing about Splatoon is its online multiplayer. So when its online servers go down for Wii U, that means Splatoon will kind of lose its luster, and it'll lose a big part of what, you know, Splatoon 1 was. And Splatoon 1 has a lot of unique stuff that you don't get in Splatoon 2, and they probably won't add in Splatoon 3. But it's still its own thing, and you'll lose that. Because the multiplayer in Splatoon 1 isn't like multiplayer in like Call of Duty, where you get every map and every gun and stuff like that to play with friends. It's asymmetrical multiplayer, so one person plays on the Wii U gamepad while the other person plays on the Pro Controller. But you have a set amount of weapons, and you have a set amount of stages that you can do. So it really just kind of limits your experience, and you'll just lose a good portion of, you know, that game. It'll be gone forever. So, you know, we do lose. I feel like that's going to be the greatest loss when this all happens is, you know, eventually one day Splatoon will, you know, be gone. And while, yes, a lot of people argue that Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3 are going to be around, I mean, Splatoon 1 is really unique. Like, I played on and played Splatoon 1 about a year ago or something like that, and the gameplay on that game is actually a lot different than what it is in Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3. And I do see what a lot of those fans say, you know, like how that's their favorite compared to Splatoon 2, because there's a lot more chaos in this first one. Like, there's a lot of things that are different on the first one that you don't do in the second one. So, just to have that game kind of be gone to time is going to be kind of crazy. But, that's about it, really, as far as my points for all this. I just kind of wanted to talk about these, because these two systems were actually the biggest, like, game systems to turn me around from where I was in my gaming, like, growing up. Because I used to be really casual. Like, I would play, like, mainly just Mario and, you know, Kirby and Pokemon games. I mean, I played some Zelda too, but I didn't have a whole lot of Zelda. So, like, stuff like Star Fox and Metroid and Kid Icarus were, like, kind of foreign to me until, like, the 3DS and Wii U. I mean, I had, like, instances where I was, you know, exposed to stuff like Metroid and Star Fox, you know, thanks to Smash. But I actually played, like, Kid Icarus and Star Fox for the first time on the 3DS. And, I didn't really get into Metroid. I didn't play Metroid, I don't think, until I got a Switch. But, until recently when I started collecting a lot of games too, which I think was, like, in 2018 or 2019 when I had money to actually do that. But, yeah, so it was just kind of important, and it was because of the 3DS that I played games like, you know, Street Fighter 4, and then there was also like Project X Zone and Project X Zone 2, which kind of introduced me into a lot more game series like Resonance of Fate, Tales of Vesperia, Street Fighter, yes, but Tekken and a bunch of other things. and it just showed me a bunch of like these game series that weren't Nintendo based, but they were from companies like Namco and Sega and stuff, and it just got me intrigued into those series, and that's why I was able to. Oh, and Kingdom Hearts. Like Kingdom Hearts, I first experienced my first Kingdom Hearts game on 3DS, which in turn led me to playing The World Ends With You, which was also one of the greatest RPGs I've ever played. So the 3DS opened my eyes to a lot of gaming, and I just kind of wanted to give back to that by just kind of talking about it for a little bit, even if it wasn't much, and even if I didn't really talk about what a lot of people would want to hear. I just wanted to get, what I felt was necessary out. But that's about it. I just kind of wanted to talk about them. And I just think it sucks that they're going to be gone forever. But, the times are always changing. So we still got the Switch. But this is kind of a forewarning. This will happen to the Switch eventually one day as well. So to those that want to get the most out of their Switch, you might want to start saving money and might want to start, if you want to play games on the Switch like Dead Cells and stuff like that, you might want to start thinking about where your money goes and not buy so much shovelware and, just collect the stuff that's necessary. But, other than that, I think I've said all that I've wanted to say, so I'll go ahead and see y'all later. Peace.